Hey, what's up? My name is Conrad, and in this video I want to show you how to profitably scale your e-commerce brand using email marketing, and I'm gonna cover everything you need to know about e-commerce email marketing. So let's get into the video. The first thing I want to talk about is why email marketing, why should you use it to scale your e-commerce brand. So as you can see here are the benefits. So first of all, predictable revenue, you don't have to rely on ads anymore. Then you will have lower customer acquisition cost because you're gonna decrease it using pre-purchase flows. So it's gonna be easier for you to scale the ad spend. Then your customers are going to buy from you over and over again, which means that your LTV will be higher and you will make more profitable sales. I said profitable on purpose because this is something you have to remember. You already paid to acquire those customers, so right now you're making sales without paying a single cent to get them to buy. So those sales are gonna be the most profitable ones you will ever make. Then you'll have less abandoned carts and checkouts, and as you already know, it's a problem, it's a huge problem. People are just leaving them and never coming back, so email marketing solves that. Then thing that is what really important, and I don't see many people talking about, is that you'll have ability to scale with new customer acquisition cost below break-even ROAS, and you'll be able to beat your competitors. So what I mean by that is that you don't have to be profitable on the first purchase. If your LTV is higher, and let's say people buy from you in the month, not only in the month 1, but also in month number 2 and 3, you're gonna be able to spend more to acquire this customer because in the span of 3 months, you will still make huge profit. And your competitors won't be able to do it. They won't be able to spend that much to acquire a customer. So what happens if you are able to spend more than your competitors to get new customers? Well, you're gonna get higher piece of the market, higher piece of the cake, bigger chunk of the market, and you're gonna scale more and just outperform your competitors by a lot. And last but not least, you'll have engaged and loyal customers, which means that your retention rate will be higher. So again, they'll be promoting your brand, they'll be buying from you over and over again, which ultimately all of that combined just makes it way easier for you to scale the brand by having this backend, which is email marketing. So here are 4 core pillars of email marketing I always focus on. And to be honest, if your email marketing doesn't perform, or if you've tried it before but it didn't work, truth is that one of those pillars or one or more aren't working well. So in this video, I'm gonna break them down step by step. I'll show you which one might not be performing and how to fix it to make sure it's doing really well. So let's start with deliverability, and I don't want to say this one is the most important because all of them matter, but the truth is that none of other pillars matter if your emails are landing in spam because nobody is gonna see them. So one thing you have to remember is your domain's reputation. You need to keep it really high. So I'm gonna show you how to do a technical setup to boost your deliverability, what are the best practices for avoiding spam, so even if you have the technical setup, you never go to spam, and how to do a health check using lookups. So technical setup, pretty simple. You have to set up custom sending domain and DMARC record. If you're using Klaviyo, by setting up custom sending domain, you will have already SPF and DKYM records, so the only one that you have to set up is DMARC. Now, I'm not gonna show you how to do it right now in this video because the setup itself is gonna be different for every brand and it's gonna depend on your domain provider. So if your domain provider is Google Domains or GoDaddy, there are gonna be 2 different processes on how to set it up. So just Google it, they're gonna help you. Like all of those domains providers have a ton of articles that are gonna help you, or they even have live support or email support, so reach out to them. If you don't know how to do it, if you're struggling, you can comment down below, I'll help you. Other than that, it's worth it to spend even like 30 to 60 minutes to set it up because you do it only once and in the long run it's gonna pay off. Once you have the technical setup done, you still can't be doing anything you want because ultimately if you don't follow certain practices, you're gonna land in spam and then nothing is gonna save you. You'll have to buy a new domain and so on and so on. So here are the few best practices that you want to do to avoid landing in spam. Number 1, resizing images. I use a simple website called reduceimages.com. Just suppress, compress images, make them JPEGs, and that's it. Then you want to have visible unsubscribe section. So there are two reasons behind it. First of all, inbox providers' algorithms are smarter than you think. So if you hide your unsubscribe section, they're gonna see that it's not visible. And then another thing is that if people that want to unsubscribe can't do it, it means they're getting emails they don't want to get. So what do you think they're gonna do? They're gonna report you as spam because this is the only thing to stop getting emails from you. And this is the worst thing that can happen, because they're either gonna report you as spam or phishing. So it's just terrible. That's why you want to have this section. And still, like, people that unsubscribe, like, it's a very low percentage. It's like below 1% of total people that are on your list. So just have this section and it's gonna solve the problem. Then you have to remember about list maintenance. So list health is very important, but the best and most optimal way to keep your list clean is to have sunset engaged flow, because this is gonna clean your list on autopilot. The only thing you'll have to do is upload suppressed profiles once per month or once per 2 months. Really simple, really straightforward. If you don't know how to set it up, how to set up this flow, I have a guide, video guide that's gonna help you. It's gonna pop up somewhere on the screen. So if you don't know how to do it, just watch the video and do it once, and you'll be set for for a month. Then segmentation. So a few things to remember is that you have segments you want to target, like engaged people, people who are engaging with your emails, opening them, so your open rates stay high. But then you also want to exclude some segments like bounced, unengaged, or marked as spam. Then one of the best ways to boost your deliverability is engagement. So what you want to do is you want to ask people to respond. And one way to go about this is promoting a discount. So if you want to send a discount, don't be, work smart, not hard. Don't be asking people that are taking over your customer service to manually send those people a discount or a link, because it will take a ton of time if you have to send like 5 or 10,000 emails. Use Georgia's and set up automation where with keyword. So if someone, if you have an email saying reply, Valentine's 15 to get the discount code, then Georgia's will, once they see the actual keyword, they're gonna send automated reply with a discount code or link. So it's gonna save you a ton of time. But another thing to talk about the engagement is that you don't have to only ask for discounts. You can also try to have genuine conversations. So like, what's your dog's name? What did you like the most about their product? When is your birthday? Stuff like that. It also works well. Then you want to have relevant subject lines. So you can have like clickbaity ones, but it doesn't pay off in the long term, because again, people are gonna get pissed off, annoyed, they're gonna report you as spam or unsubscribe, and you don't want to do it. Then you want to try to avoid spam trigger words, mostly like, investment, money back guarantee, make money online quickly, stuff like that. Now algorithms can read that, so you want to avoid them. Then you want to have as few clever sections as possible. And by sections, I don't mean content blocks. So don't confuse them. Sections like one section. Within one section, you can have multiple content blocks. So like image, button, text, button, social links, whatever. And you want to have ideally one section, so then your emails are not getting clipped, which is also gonna help improve your deliverability. Then wherever you can, you want to include HTML blocks. So for example, if you're having, if you want to have beautiful header, like hero image with an image plus the like header, obviously you can upload it as an image. But if you then like have a text of block, which is like only text and nothing else, there's no need for you to upload it as image. Just have the actual HTML text block, because it's gonna help with the deliverability as well. Then you want to add alt text to all your images. And by doing it, remember, like a small tip, that you don't have to actually describe everything. So if the header says, shop now to get X, you don't have to say it in the alt text, because those algorithms can also see that. So you can try something else to boost the deliverability, and don't make it look like a sales email. Now, health check. So ideally, you want to do it at least once per month. I always start with tracking open rates. So if in January you had average open rate 50% and in February you had 30 or 20%, then you know that something is broken, something is off, and you have to dig deeper. You want to do a health check using lockups. I would recommend doing it at least once per month by sending 2 emails. So the first one will be plain text email, no buttons, no images, just text, and the other one will be design heavy content. Both of them might have different inbox placement. That's why you want to run tests for both of them. And the lockups, I'm not affiliated or anything. It's super cheap, great tool. Actually, you have free tests once you sign up. They're completely free, and then you pay like $5 or $4 for each free test. So it's nothing and helps you quite a lot. So just do it. Then once you have deliverability set, let's talk about list growth. So you have to be growing your email list. Pretty simple, pretty straightforward. So I'm gonna cover what are the best lead capture tools, what time delay to use, what incentives to use, and what to A/B test if you want to improve your conversion rate to get to the benchmark, which is between 5 and 15% submission rate. Ideally, it's even higher, like between 7 and 15%, but 5% is bare minimum that you wanna aim for. So I'm gonna show you how to do it, but this growth is really important. Like, you want to have as many people as you want, and like the math is simple. If your submission rate is 5%, you know, let's say you're making 10k from Klaviyo, by doubling your submission rate to, you know, 10%, you're making twice more. So it just pays off to optimize this growth and have more people on the list, because you're gonna also have more people in the flows, more recipients of your campaigns. It just pays off, and I don't see many brands paying enough attention to that, because they just set up pop-up once and they're like, yeah, okay, we have pop-up, but you have to be constantly optimizing it to get it to convert as high as possible. So these are the main lead capture tools. So embedded form, flyout, pop-up, and spin wheel. So a few years back, spin wheels were super popular. People were using them everywhere. Right now, probably pop-up is your best shot. You can also test flyouts, although for all my clients I'm doing pop-up and it's working well. And then you also have embedded form, which is purely in the sign-up form, in the footer. But you can also optimize it, you know, try different copy and whatnot, just to make sure that people are still signing up through the footer. So time delay, always set up to pop-ups. So first one will be on desktop, which is exit intent only, and it happens when someone drags the mouse outside the tab, which then suggests that they're about to leave the website. So that's what you want to do for desktop. And for mobile, you can do from 6 to 60 seconds page load, time on page, or 60 to 80% scroll. So you might think like, okay, 60 seconds is too long, but in some cases, it's going to be perfect. If customers are browsing on your website for a longer period of time, you want to have longer page load to not confuse them, to not annoy them. But again, you just need to A/B test that, because each brand is going to be different based on the products you're selling, your AOV, customer behavior, customer demographics like age. So just A/B test that, start with something, start with those guidelines and test it. Now, incentives. So here are some, in order for someone to give email address, they probably need some incentive. Right now, people are like, you know, they care about the data, so they won't give email address to anyone for no reason. That's why you need something that's gonna be appealing to them. So here are some of the offers that I recommend you try and test. What you can do is like think outside, like break the pattern, and for example, instead of doing 10% off, do 11, because like, you know, one looks cool, whatever, but it still like 1% different, but might do better. But here's a small tip. Free gifts generally convert exceptionally well. So if you have the ability to give a free gift as your incentive, do it. Just do it. It's gonna be the best offer that you run. I haven't seen yet any case where a regular discount like $20 off or 20% off would outperform free gift. Obviously, it all comes down to your cost of goods, your margins and whatnot. Because if you have products now, or like your lowest cost of goods product is like $30, with this cost of goods, you can't really afford to give it as a gift unless your AOV is like 1k, and if you're giving 10% off, you're just slashing $100. In this case, the math would just work in your favor, and free gift would pay off anyway. But just calculate your margins, see what's gonna be the best for you, for your brand, A/B test that again, and you'll see how it's gonna do. So if your pop-up is not performing at all, here are things you want to A/B test. So the offer, the most important thing of the sign-up form is offer. Usually it's gonna drive the highest impact out of any other A/B tests. So start with offer always, test as many offers as you want, make sure you get the enough volume, then implement it, and then you can test other things like time delay, copy, design, but generally speaking, offer is the single most important thing that you want to test when it comes to your lead capture tool or pop-up. Now, flows. So this one, I'm also gonna cover everything. So what are pre-purchase flows, post-purchase flows, list hygiene, which I already mentioned before when we were talking about deliverability, how to use Sunset and Engage Flow to do that, A/B test ideas, and again, here are some benchmarks that you know what to aim for. So the revenue from flows, again, it will differ depending on your brand, whether you have replenishable products, not replenishable products, if you are a one product store, or like a, you know, general store, whatever. There are a lot of factors that I'm just giving kind of wide revenue marks, but this is what you should be aiming for. Generally 15 to 25% should be coming from flows. Open rate, anything above 40% is great. Click-through rate, again, between 2 to 5%, and conversion rate between 0.5 to 2%. try to aim for them. Again, every brand is gonna be different. The one factor is the brand itself, but the other factor is the list quality. So people coming from Facebook are gonna be a different quality than traffic from TikTok. And I guess you already know that if you're running ads on both platforms, I guess you're seeing higher conversion rate on Facebook rather than TikTok. At least that's what we've been seeing. So those are the things to remember. Let's start with pre-purchase flows. So this is something you want to start with. Again, welcome flow. If you watch my other videos, you know that I like to make long welcome flows, but start with 5 emails. Like, you don't have to start with 10 right away. If you have no flows at all, this is the exact structure you want to start with. So welcome flow, abandoned cart, checkout, browse abandonment, and site abandonment. I have videos about all of them. So if you want to learn about every single one, what structure to use, what are the triggers, filters, time delays, and so on, I'll link my playlist to flows, so you'll just be able to learn them. I don't want to break them down step by step because this video will be like a few hours long, and I want to make it as actionable as possible. So yeah, these are the pre-purchase flows, and again, their task is to decrease your customer acquisition cost and get more new visitors into buying customers. That's the purpose of all of those flows, just to retarget those people using emails. Then we have post-purchase flows, where their role is to increase your AOV and LTV and retention and build a relationship. So obviously you're also building a relationship with pre-purchase flows, like the welcome flow is the most important one because you're making first impression, and so on and so on. But here are the flows that are building the relationship after making a purchase. So someone trusted you enough to buy from you. They're like, okay, this product is gonna work. Now you have those flows that I always use, which is customer thank you, customer win back, VIP tier, cross-sell, upsell, or replenishment if you can do it, and purchase anniversary or customer birthday. But with customer birthday, it's quite tricky because you don't want to be collecting their birthdays dates on your sign-up form, because this is gonna decrease the conversion rate. So you want to ask them with email, but not people are gonna respond. That's why purchase anniversary is one of my favorite ones. And again, I'm covering those flows in my other videos, but this is like a very, very simple structure. All those flows, how many emails you should be sending, that's what we always do. It works well. And again, their role is to increase the LTV, and you have to, by creating them, you have to remember about where they are in the customer journey. So if they are in the customer win back flow, the messaging is gonna be different than compared to VIP tier or customer thank you. So keep in mind while creating those flows. Then if your flows aren't performing, again, you have to A/B test. I know a lot of people think that, okay, flows are automated, so I just set them up and they're running and printing money. Well, that's not the truth, because again, like, you can have decent flows that will be doing 15% of the revenue, but if you A/B test a bunch of stuff and optimize them, they can be making 30% of your total revenue, and suddenly they are making twice more. So it just pays off to A/B test and constantly improve the flows. Again, subject lines and time delays are probably the two tests that are gonna bring the biggest results. Once I onboard new client and like start working the brand, the first thing I test is time delay, because usually you do it once, and once it works, for let's say that 30 minutes time delay for abandoned cart is the best, then you won't be A/B testing that for like another 3 months, 6 months or whatever, because like customer behavior doesn't change that much. So you want to start with testing time delays, then subject lines, sending time. Don't confuse with time delay. Sending time is, for example, when all the emails in the flow are waiting to be sent at 5:30 p.m. PST, right? This is sending time. So you can also play with that. CTAs in the emails, designs, copywriting, design heavy versus plain text emails, a bunch of ideas. Again, testing takes a lot of time because you must have volume to make decisions based on data and not your guesses or what you like. So just run those tests and see how you can improve. Now, campaigns. So again, I'm gonna cover frequency, segments, what and when to send, email structure, and I'm gonna tell you a bit more about benchmarks. Frequency, at least 2 per week. Like, no matter what list size, unless you have like 50 or 100 people on your list, you have to be sending email twice per week. One promotional, one value packed, so people don't feel like they're getting spammed, but you're still in touch with them, still building this relationship, educating them and making purchases. Then here are the benchmarks. So the revenue, as you can see, it's similar to flows, between 15 to 25%. But again, this is something you have to take with a grain of salt, because some brands are like the nature of those brands is that, for example, flows won't be bringing more than 10% of total revenue, but campaigns are going to bring like 30 or 35%. That's still okay. What you should be looking at in general is the total revenue from Klaviyo. It shouldn't be less than 20 or 25%, ideally between 30 and 50, more like 30-40, because it's really healthy for the growth. It means that you're growing, spending money on ads, acquiring new customers, and so on. Open rate for campaigns, I like to aim above 30%, but like 25 is still safe. Anything below 25 and 20 is terrible, but again, I try to optimize for 30%. Click rate 1 to 2% and conversion rate 0.05 to 0.2 conversion rate. And just like with flows, a lot will depend on the brand, AOV, and list of the quality of the list. So keep this in mind. Those are only benchmarks that you should be aiming for and trying to get. But there also, like, there's another topic, which is benchmarks like metrics and net clicks, for example. So if you want to improve click rate or open rate, you can send to more engaged segment, but you might get less net clicks. So an example, you're sending, your whole list is 5,000 people, and you're sending the email to all those people, and your click rate or your open rate is 20%. So if this was like how much, it was 5k people, and you send it to all the list, and you're getting open rate of 20%, then 1,000 people saw it. But let's say you send it to more engaged segment, where you're sending it to engaged last 30 days, and the segment is 1.2k people with open rate 50%, then overall 600 people opened the email. So metrics are looking better, but net opens are lower. So keep this in mind. Always try to get the biggest, as much revenue as possible, because this is what matters in the end. Core segments. So I'm not gonna lie, those are the main segments you're gonna focus on, unless you have a huge list and you have a bunch of collections that you can just, you can create segments based on what people bought from these collections and cross-sell, upsell that. But generally speaking, you're gonna use engaged 30, 60, 90, 180 days, non-buyers, existing customers, and VIP. So for VIPs, it will depend. You can do it between 3 to 5x your AOV, or 3 to 5 or more purchases. For example, if your AOV is $100, you could have a VIP segment of people which spend more than $500 in your store or bought more than 5 times. Pretty simple, pretty straightforward. Now, what to send? So again, what to send will slightly depend on who you're sending to. That's why you have to adjust the content to your segments. But generally speaking, there's promotional content and educational or value-packed content. So for promotional content, you have reviews, testimonials, push, success story, and my favorite format, which is how Alex went from Y to Z in the time. Talk about your USP or angle, us versus them. So you want to compare yourself to competitors without shredding them. So don't tell like, yeah, they're terrible, buy from us. Actually compare to show benefits, why people should buy from you, why you're better. Then you have regular sale. So X percentage off or X dollar amount off, 10% off, $15 off, anything like that will work. Then you have educational content. So in this one, you want to actually provide value to people. That's why I also refer to them as value-packed emails. 5 tips to improve your sleep. How to start using your wave without, working out more than 30 minutes a day. If you have blog, you want to promote blog articles. I keep talking about it, but it's super, super powerful. So if you have a blog, it's a complete no-brainer. And another great format is Mythbuster. But again, those are just a few ideas for campaigns that you can be sending. Just test what works for your brand. I also have like other video on how to create campaign calendar. So if you're struggling with that, I'll link it as well. So you can just follow that. There are also like a bunch of content ideas. So you can just follow that if you're confused or don't know what to send. Now, this is the last thing, but this is the email structure that we use. And it's very simple, like really simple, and you'd have to follow it one by one. But generally, this is what works for us the best. So you have a logo, then hero image with headline, then you have call to action. So we're making it really easy for people to buy. Usually logo plus hero image plus headline and call to action. Those parts are above default. So if someone wants to buy, we're giving them a chance to do so. So whether you open the email on mobile or desktop, they're seeing the main content of the email. Not the main content, but the hero image and headline call to action. Then you have a body, which is, let's say, the main content of the email, so the actual copy. Then you have call to action. And to be honest, you could end the email there. So just have those logo, hero image, CTA, body, CTA. but if you can, you want and you can test longer emails and try including other sections like reviews, testimonials, product sections, collection sections, stuff like that, then call to action, and then footer. In the footer you want to have some icons with your USP, so for example free shipping, sustainable materials, over 5,000 5-star reviews, stuff like that, social media links so people can check them out, and unsubscribe section, but I already covered that, so I guess you already know why you should have it. And one more thing, here's a shameless plug. So if you want to get 30 to 50% more revenue for your e-commerce brand through email and SMS without annoying your customers or using discounts, you can book a call with me at our website, ventivemail.com. I'm gonna just hop on a call with you and tell you how we can help you do that. We increase your email revenue. We average anywhere between 30 to 50% of total revenue that is coming for our clients from Klaviyo. So if you want to get those same results, book a call with me, and that's it. Other than that, if you enjoyed this video, make sure you like, subscribe it, and see you in the next one. Bye!